Well, hello everyone. My name is Lisa Arrington and I am a sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I have been building my business now for 19 years. Prior to Mary Kay, I worked for Marriott in the hospitality industry and moved actually from Michigan to North Carolina for a hot minute, and then they moved me here to Canton, Georgia. Um, I have been, earning and doing things that I said that I would never do in my Mary Kay business. So my director at the time was very smart. She just said, "Oh, do this," and I did it. So it's not something that I ever thought that I would be doing 19 years later, but what an amazing blessing. So Mary Kay came into my life in the form of a mailbox. I had a mailbox consultant for quite a while and then was invited to a party for a neighbor of mine. And that's where I really heard more about product, but also about the Mary Kay opportunity. And after using Mary Kay products for about 7 years, I went, wow, I didn't know I could, do something different and be able to use more product and enjoy the savings. At that time, my kids were, holy cow, 5, 3 and 2. And now 19 years later, they're 26, 23, and 21. So now in Mary Kay, I am Mary Kay full time. I had retired from Marriott shortly after starting my business. I loved being able to be a work from home mom and having the freedom and flexibility to raise my kids. And I just see now the difference in them that I didn't have growing up at their ages. And so that's one of my most favorite things about my Mary Kay business. But currently we are racing through a huge finish line to finish our first pink fluffy Cadillac with my guiding light unit. And I and racing along my sister director here, Tina Kirby, who's going to introduce herself next.
Hey everybody, I am Tina Kirby. I've actually been building my business now for 16 years. And before Mary Kay, I worked corporate America. I worked for Calvin Klein and was traveling quite a bit, 2 to 3 weeks out of the month. But Mary Kay found me through my daughters that were competitive dancers, and all the dance moms got together and said, "Oh, you talk to people. We're going to have you talk to the Mary Kay lady." So I got to sit and talk with her and get a deal for all the dancers. And of course, then she invited me to an event and another and another and another. And I was just that, permanent customer and guest at the events. So, but what it really grabbed a hold of my heart was just the camaraderie that everybody had. They were lifting each other up, and I'm thinking, everybody has their own business. I don't understand this. And I guess that's what took me so long just to get a hold of it. But then I saw the potential for earnings, the flexibility, all the things that I really didn't have. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. And so I started my business. March 30th will actually be 16 years for me, and worked that business. And then 2008 was when I started. So everything went downhill at the end of that year. And then January 8th of 2009, I lost my job. I lost that 6-figure income. And so I decided, I'm going to work this business full time. And so when I did, I grabbed a hold of it and worked it under the principles that Mary Kay put in place: God first, family second, career third. And with that, I earned a car in 4.5 months and became a director in 5.5 months. And for 9 years, I was a director. And then a little life happened. I allowed that to happen. And so I ended up stepping back for a short time, about almost 6.5 years. I guess it feels short, but yet long. And then here recently, September of last year, with the guidance of my amazing coach, Dawn, we decided, you know what, this is where I need to be. Mary Kay needs leaders. I love this culture. I love the environment. And I love lifting up women. So started running again, and we just debuted December 31st as the Thrive unit. And so we are running this month to finish our first car. And then, like Lisa said, we are running June 30th to finish that pink Cadillac. So very, very exciting. Mm-hmm. So we talked a little about earlier about some products and stuff. Tell me, Lisa, how did you get started in that Mary Kay business? Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, it's interesting because when I first started, I thought I was just going to be a personal use consultant because I didn't want to hold appointments. I didn't want to sell. I'm like, I'm not the sales type. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm too busy. I got 3 small children, but I loved the product and I loved the savings, because as women, aren't we frugal and we love to save money, right? But at the time, my director was very smart and she invited me to an event. So like you talked about, being in an event and just coming back and coming back, because it was an environment that was very positive, women uplifting each other, people wearing crowns, picking up prizes, being clapped for just saying their name.
Right.
I don't know, does anybody, when you like vacuum the house, do you get clapped for, or do the dishes? Yeah, no, right? So I was like, oh my gosh. So it was really fun to come to a meeting for just a couple of hours, step out of the house, come and get filled up, and then be able to even just take that back home, but then want to be able to do that for other women. So that's kind of what got me started, because I told her, don't expect me to do anything. And 19 years
And look
later,
at you now.
everything she said to do, I did, because that was the other thing too. What she said was true. She said, do this and this will happen. Do this and this will happen. And the next thing you know, she's like, oh, you're in your red jacket. And I'm like, I don't even know what a red jacket is. She's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. And I'm like, okay, just keep doing this. And I did that. And she's like, oh, you're on target for your first car. And I'm like, wait, what? When did that happen? You know, how do I do that?
Right.
And that kind of thing. So it was just, plugging in, being in the environment, watching that, just, we have our date when we join Mary Kay. And then we also have the date when Mary Kay grabs a hold of our hearts. And being at those meetings and watching those women genuinely cheer each other on and actually love one another, I wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah. And by the way, you picked up how many cars now? That you said you're never going to do?
8.
I love that.
We
That's
just
great,
picked up
right?
our 8th Mary Kay car.
And she's going for that pink one. So it's really exciting.
Yeah.
So you started for the discount, right? Because you were going to be a personal use consultant. I love those.
I know. Those are my favorite too.
Right. So you've been in 19 years, which is very exciting. Like, because a lot of people, I think about the society we have now, everybody jumps from job to job to job. But you've been doing Mary Kay, you've had your business for 19 years. So you started for personal use. Why have you stayed in Mary Kay?
When I think about that, I think the biggest reason is we are here in Georgia on our own. So all of my family's in Michigan and all my husband's family's in North Carolina. And so when I started my Mary Kay business, first it was, our leadership team, and then the other consultants, the red jackets, they became my Mary Kay family.
Right.
And then my customer base. I think about the women in my customer base that I have relationships with, and I wouldn't have relationships with them. I probably wouldn't even know them if it wasn't for my Mary Kay business, because we can look back and go, wow, this person led to this person and this person led to this person. And, a lot of times we even say, like, you've mentioned Dawn, our mentor. If Dawn would not have said yes over 3,600 years ago, or whatever many years she's been in Mary Kay, not any one of us would be here.
Nobody on the
now.
screen. Right?
Nobody on the screen.
Right.
Yeah. And I would not know you.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
And I don't know what I would do without that, because that's another thing I think about is my Mary Kay family is my support too here, because there has been 2 occasions when I was not well, and you were the one who took me to the hospital.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. That's right.
And it was really interesting because it's, our kids were just getting on the bus.
Oh my gosh,
I couldn't walk. And she came and she goes, Lisa, I'm not dressed. My hair's a hot mess. I'm flat. Okay, Tina's flat.
I'm not getting Mary Kay.
So she put a Mary Kay hat on and she goes, and I'll be right there.
That's right.
And we were there from probably 8 o'clock in the morning until I don't even know what time, dinner time, 5 or 6 o'clock, when you brought me home that first time. And I don't know if I worked for Marriott at that time still, if someone would have done that for me. And I don't know what I would have done. My kids weren't old enough to drive me anywhere. They were at school. My husband's, at that time he was traveling, he was out of town. And my Mary Kay sister came to my rescue. So I think that having those experiences and wanting to be able to be that for somebody else, is one of the things that Mary Kay that's one of the things that came in my Mary Kay starter kit. And that was not something that I ever imagined would have happened. So yeah,
Never dream of those things.
The relationships, you know, we hear it all the time, you know, there's the rings and the cars and the extra income, and all those things are amazing. But if we had to give it all up, the one thing I would not want to give up is the relationships, the friendships, the genuine friendships, because those are far and few in between nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, you know, thinking about my journey now, I think about your journey, and it's been a little bit different than mine. A lot different.
Yeah.
You know, you never left Mary Kay entirely. You were always a part of it. And one of the other ways that you were always a part of it is when I was going for a goal, you would call me and say, okay, where are you at? What do you need to do? I'll call you after work. We'll brainstorm. Right.
True.
So you never completely stepped out of it. But like you shared earlier, you came back in September. So why come back?
Okay.
And why choose leadership?
So, like Lisa said, my journey was a little different, because, you know, and I had to learn this part is I allowed life to happen when I was a director before, because, you know, because of my amazing coach, Dawn, you know, we get to learn that, we allow things in or we don't allow things in. And that was one of the things that, you know, I stepped back. I allowed life to happen and stepped back for about 6 years, went back in, and I work another full-time job right now. But I allowed that to happen. But I knew, when, you know, COVID hit, and, you know, made it through all of that craziness. And then, I just needed the place that Mary Kay offers, right? Because leadership here is so much different than people managing people. Because like you said, you know, we get to come to Studio Pink, you know, every week. We get to applaud women. We get to teach women what we've been taught, right? We get to teach them how to build a business, how to run a skincare class, you know, how to share the opportunity. We get to do all of those things, which is absolutely amazing. And the crazy thing is we get paid to just lift people up and clap for people, right? Which is definitely different. And so, you know, I remember the conversation I had with Dawn, gosh, August of last year. And I was going through a lot and I knew I was missing something. And she mentioned one thing that was like, oof, it just came over me. And she said, you know, Tina, we don't wash feet, we wash faces. And I'm like, wow, this is my ministry, because we get to share our faith, you know, first and foremost. So passing it on is not just passing the opportunity on, we get to pass our faith on as well. So when she said that, that's what I was like, okay, it's time. And as soon as that grandbaby was born, let's go. So we got busy and started that journey again. So thankful that even during that 6 years that I, you know, kind of stepped back, I was still being able to service my customers with a golden rule, because, you know, I had always kept inventory on my shelf, even during that 6 years. I always was able to service my customers. And this is something kind of crazy, that we were talking about. I was like, oh yeah. Sometimes, you know, we get hit on our websites when you're a star consultant, and I was still sometimes a star consultant during all that time, because again, I built my business for 9 years, and my, you know, the great thing about our products is it keeps going down the drain, and they keep reordering it, you know, so I love that about it. But sometimes when somebody new would come along and I wasn't ready to do the faces, I had a sister director, right, that I would call and say, hey, Lisa, I've got somebody that needs your attention. And so I was able to pass it on because I wanted them to experience the Mary Kay, right, and have the right experience. So
and you think about that, where else would that happen? I mean, would somebody else pass on a new lead or a new customer to you with the thought of they need to know the Mary Kay way, right? Because there's the right way to do it and not the right way to do it. And to, you know, have that heart and knowing that that's the right thing to do to take care of that person, that, that says a lot. And like you said, having that golden rule customer service. So that leads me to when you did come back in and you're like, okay, I want to go back into leadership. So you had to go through a qualification
Oh my
period to
gosh,
be able
yes.
to do that.
Mhm.
Okay. So what then, when you think about it, do you think led to your success in becoming a director again in such a short amount of time?
Number one, Dawn.
Mhm.
Having a great coach that
Mhm.
would literally pour into me whenever I need. I could reach out and she would give me guidance, which was great. And not just guidance in business, right? But like one of the biggest things is like, here's a Bible study, Tina, you need to start doing this.
Mhm.
And helping me to get a deeper relationship with God, because that is, again, it's God, family, career.
Right.
So, being able to do that, and then listening when she says, go do this, I went like kind of you,
Yeah.
go do this, you just go do it. So yeah, that
Right.
definitely helped me, along the way.
And to know too that you were never given up on,
Right.
like she would still stay in touch with
That's
you.
right.
You and I talked quite often still as well. And being able to share, what was going on in your life, what was going on in my life, and not having that separation. Even though I missed the mess out of you because we weren't gallivanting around town getting the leads together. But
Right.
it's so much fun to know that we can do that again now.
Right.
But just knowing that, we can meet people where they're at. We love them where they're at. And that's exactly what Dawn did, for you. And she does for each and every one of us, even though for those of us that don't step back, or have to, take care of maybe something else in the interim, but that they never give up on you.
Yeah.
And that when you're ready, they're ready also, and they're
That's right.
available, and they're like, let's go. And they're excited to welcome you back, right? With open arms.
Now, what is it Don always says to us? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
That's right. You're
And
absolutely
voila,
right.
there she was.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So do we have time for another question, or should we talk about, okay. So, we always hear, right, in our Mary Kay skincare classes, right?
Oh, that's right.
That, Mary Kay always told us that there was always a brand new beauty consultant at every single skincare class. And tonight we're kind of wondering, who's it gonna be out there, right? So, and we know that Mary Kay is not for everybody, and that's okay because we absolutely love our customers as much as we love our new team members. But we thought, you know what, let's go ahead and share with you all what it looks like to start a Mary Kay business in the month of March. And even if it's just to get your toe in the water, or, jump in all together.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So, do you want to share? I know that. Okay,
She's
great.
She's gonna pop that on the screen, which is
she's-
great. Oh, maybe not. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah, so for the month of March, which is really exciting. So the e-start is $10, which gets you your pro pay and a website. Okay. And then that's step one. Step two then could be your e-start plus, which is 45, that gets you some add-ons, some samples. But what we're really encouraging, what I encourage is, jump in here, because the whole starter kit, you can get $100. Like that's what it took up like 16 years ago, probably 19 years ago for you too, right?
$100.
$100. And you're getting more than what we got. Plus in the starter kit, everything you need to do 30 faces. There's everything that you need right there. And why not? Why not have like maybe a plan B, So this is, again, $10 is only through March 31st. So make sure, take advantage of this. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And like we said, we know that Mary Kay is not for everybody. However, you can be an amazing talent scout for your consultant, right? Because, there's people that that she may need to know, or there's people that that have a need that Mary Kay can fill right now. And so just share that person with your consultant, let them get additional information, let them get all their questions answered. Because you just never know. I mean, people are looking for a side hustle right now. They might be looking for a positive environment to come and escape from, you know, just the hustle and bustle of the day to get filled back up. Because when we do get filled back up and we take care of ourselves, we're a better mom, we're a better wife, a better daughter, a better sister, better aunt,
Better friend.
better friend. There
There you
you
go.
go, right? You know, just again, you can be a great talent scout. And I know that a lot of consultants have a great gift, right? For those
Absolutely.
that do refer someone that even just begins their business. So you can talk to your consultant about that too, if you have someone in mind. But also, like Dawn mentioned earlier, we do have ladies that are working on what we call our pearls of sharing. And so that is how they earn their earrings, a beautiful bracelet, and necklace, is by sharing just the Mary Kay opportunity and getting women's opinions about it. So we want to share 3 questions. We're going to give you the skinny.
We're gonna give you, like, a little heads up.
Right, because your consultant's going to ask you 3 questions. Would you guys like to know them ahead of time? I bet you would, right? Okay, yeah, okay.
Kind of like cheating on the test, right?
Yeah, right. So don't tell your consultant we gave them to you in advance, all right? Because now you can think about them. All right, so Tina, do you want to tell them what the 3 questions are?
Okay, so number 1, what did you enjoy most about the information you heard tonight, or maybe you learned something new? So that's number 1. Okay. Number 2, if you were to ever start a Mary Kay business, why would that be? Maybe it's the extra money, maybe it's the girlfriends, who knows? What would that be? And then number 3, putting fear to the side, what would hold you back from getting started today? So those are the 3 questions. Your consultant's gonna reach out to you and ask you those. So be ready with your answers. And again, I know she's gonna have something for you just for listening in tonight, and just you know, being one of her people that she can count towards her pearls.
Absolutely. Yes, and you know, because you just never know. I mean, did you wake up one morning and say, "Oh, I'm going to be a Mary Kay beauty consultant"? Yeah, no, either did I.
No.
Right? So you guys don't say no to what you don't know you're saying no to. I know that makes sense, right? Don't say no to what you don't know.
That's
All
right.
right.
That's
Get
right.
more information if you have any inkling whatsoever. And if you
Cup of
don't
coffee.
know, right, have a
Right.
cup of coffee
Have a
with
cup
your
of coffee.
consultant. Again, get your questions answered, and just see if there's a need that Mary Kay can fill for you. Because lots of times Mary Kay businesses are for a season and others are for a lifetime. So you just never know. So we just want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. It really is an honor to be able to share our Mary Kay journeys with you. We absolutely love our company, and we know that it would be a blessing in your life, whether it is through the opportunity or through our amazing products. So thanks again for being here. Thank you for being here for your consultant, because it means the world to her. And I guess with that, we will wish everyone a good night.